Our co-worker Jennifer Johnson will be back on the air here this week. She'll split her time between work, home, and, well, what's become her second home, the neonatal intensive care unit at Golisano Children's Hospital. Last May, Jennifer and her husband learned their second child, due in September, would be born with a serious complication and that her chance of surviving was 50-50. It turns out this baby named Grace would fight even longer odds, to the amazement of her parents and her doctors.
He told me she had a congenital diaphragmatic hernia.
Jennifer's baby had a hole in the muscle that separates the abdomen and chest cavity. The intestines, stomach, and part of her liver were in her chest, pushing her heart and lungs out of their proper place.
This was tough to go through, but when we got the diagnosis, we kind of thought, well, this is the story of our family. This is who we are. And if we were supposed to have this challenge, so be it.
At birth, Grace survived on just 20% of one lung. The heart, out of position, couldn't get blood where it needed to go. Doctors said Grace had a 1 in 5 chance at survival.
When you're carrying a baby, you keep thinking, what's it going to be? And you think about all the good things and bring the baby home. And I never knew if we'd have that. I never knew if we would have a first birthday party.
You literally take everything one day at a time. The first 2 weeks of her life, it was even more than that. It was every hour. I'd say, what are we doing now? What are we looking for? What are we hoping for?
The team at Golisano Children's Hospital put Grace's organs back in place and repaired the hole in her diaphragm. But hours later, she almost died.
Our doctor knocked on the door and said, you need to come. She's not doing well. We walked into the NICU, and it was something that I never, ever want to see again. Her one little lung collapsed. And they were working on her, but she was this awful color, and she was just lifeless. And then we had to go back out to the waiting room, and they came out and said, right now you either need to decide to let her go, or we could try this procedure that might not work because the tubes might be too big for her little body.
We gave Mom and Dad the option, but we would have supported if they said, no, we don't want to put Grace through that.
Despite a complication, Grace survived her week on heart-lung bypass. Now she's 2 months old. She's breathing on her own, and there is talk of sending her home early in the new year.
Our baby's amazing. And someone who was looking at it from the outside might say, you have a fragile baby in the NICU who's connected to so many wires, but she's come through so much, so much. She's amazing. She has a long way to go. She's amazing.
She's like, what? Babies have personalities, just like adults have personalities, and you get a sense of those personalities right from the get-go, and Grace is clearly a fighter.
She said it's a blessing because it's going to help her pull through this if there's any chance she can pull through this. But if she does, she's going to be a fighter her entire life, and she's going to make your life miserable. And I said, I'll take it. I don't care. That's fine with us.
And Grace does have an older sister, Avery, who until the other day had not been allowed into the NICU to meet Grace. Keep in mind, she was born on September 19th. Well, guess what? That family reunion has now happened, and here is the first family portrait, if you will. Jennifer, Vinny, Avery, and baby Grace. So they're looking at coming home after the holidays with Grace if all goes well, and then they will have to be very careful to prevent infection. They will have to keep their house extremely clean and germ-free. And but boy, oh boy, from where they were 2 months ago, she has gotten so close to coming out of the woods that in place probably they didn't think she'd get to.
They have been through so much, and as amazing Grace is, I know that they would deflect this, but Vinny and Jennifer are pretty amazing.
They would deflect it right to the team at Golisano, actually,
well, that's
too.
been a phenomenal experience for them as well.
So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah,
we'll keep everybody
she'll be back
up to date.
Wednesday.
Yeah, she'll be back on the air Wednesday morning.